All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about illness anxiety today. You know, that feeling when your brain just gets stuck on a loop worrying about every little ache and pain. The goal here is to build a super practical toolbox full of self-care strategies that can help you find a little bit of calm in the storm. So let's get started. Have you ever had that moment, a little flutter in your chest, maybe some tingling in your fingers, and your mind just bam, it jumps straight to the worst case scenario? If that sounds familiar, you've met your body's internal alarm system. The thing is, with illness anxiety, that system can get a little trigger happy. So first, and this is super important, we need to get clear on the difference between dis-ease and dis-ease. A dis-ease, right, that's actual structural damage, an infection, an injury, something tangible. But dis-ease, that's a temporary imbalance. It's often just caused by stress and tension. It feels incredibly real, I know, but it's a state of being, not a broken part. I love this metaphor. Think of your body's alarm system like a smoke detector. It's there to keep you safe, which is great, but sometimes it goes off from a little steam from the shower, not an actual house fire. A racing heart or feeling dizzy, that can totally just be the steam, a harmless, temporary blip from adrenaline or just being tired. And that brings us to our very first tool for the toolbox. It's a simple little affirmation. The next time a weird sensation pops up, just pause for a second, take a breath, and gently, kindly remind yourself, this is dis-ease, not disease. You're not trying to ignore the feeling, you're just giving it a new story, a less scary one for your nervous system to hear. Okay, let's move on to our first set of tools. These are all about what's happening upstairs in the mind and how we can start to change our relationship with those automatic, scary thoughts. Health anxiety, man, it runs on this vicious, repeating loop. It kicks off with a trigger, let's say that flutter in your chest. That leads right to a catastrophic thought. Oh no, I'm having a heart attack, which of course creates fear. And what does fear do? It creates more body sensations, which then leads to that frantic checking or the late night Googling. You might feel better for a second, but then the fear just comes roaring back, sometimes even stronger. Just seeing this cycle for what it is, that's the first huge step to breaking it. So this becomes your new mantra, your little superpower. The second you recognize, there it is, there's that catastrophic thought again, you create a tiny bit of space. And that awareness, that little gap, that's your exit ramp off the anxiety highway. You can see the loop, which means you're not trapped inside it anymore. So how do you actually step out? You can use a technique called cognitive reframing. Instead of just buying into that automatic fear, you get curious. You become a detective. So the fear might be, this headache is definitely a brain tumor. Okay, what's the evidence against that? Well, my scans were clear and I haven't had much water today. This helps you land on a more balanced thought. It's possible, I guess, but it's really not probable. Here's another amazing tool for your mind. It's called diffusion. Now, this isn't about arguing with the thought at all. It's about unhooking from it. So when that thought, what if the doctor missed something, shows up, you just notice it. You can even say to yourself, I'm having the thought that the doctor missed something. You become the big, calm sky. And that thought, it's just a cloud passing through. It's not you. Okay, now that we have some tools for our thoughts, let's connect them to what's happening in our bodies. This next set is all about calling that physical stress response and really anchoring ourselves right here, in the present moment. And you know, one of the most powerful and immediate ways to do that starts with this one little number, 5. Yep, it's the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. When your mind is just spiraling off into a million what-ifs, this is like an emergency brake that pulls you right back to reality. You just pause and, out loud or in your head, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It's like a total sensory reboot for your nervous system. Now this one is fascinating. Interoceptive awareness. It sounds really technical, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's about gently and on purpose exposing yourself to the very internal sensations that you're afraid of. Like maybe you jog in place for a minute to feel your heart race, and then you just sit with it. You're actively teaching your brain a new lesson. Discomfort does not equal danger. And through all of these body-focused practices, this little affirmation can be your guide. Your breath is always, always with you. It's a constant physical anchor to right now. By just focusing on it, even for a moment, you send a powerful signal to your entire system that it's okay, it's safe to rest. All right, finally, let's talk about tools for the heart. And this isn't just about emotions. It's about how we respond to our fear, with compassion, instead of beating ourselves up, and with a sense of purpose that's way bigger than our anxiety. So often, when we get scared, our inner critic gets really loud, doesn't it? Well, self-compassion is the perfect antidote. Instead of telling yourself to just get over it, you can try placing a hand on your heart and just acknowledging the feeling. Okay, this is a moment of fear. And then you offer yourself the same kindness you would give to a good friend. There's this core idea from acceptance and commitment therapy that I just love. It asks us to see anxiety a little differently. It can feel like it's driving your entire life, right? But what if we saw it as just a really noisy, annoying passenger on the bus? You are still the driver. Your values, things like being a good friend or being creative or being kind, that's your compass. It tells you where to steer the bus, even when that passenger is yelling in the back. And last but not least, gratitude. Health anxiety basically trains your brain to be a detective for danger, constantly scanning for what's wrong. Gratitude actively retrains it to notice what's right. So just take a moment each day to thank your body for what it did do well. It digested your food, it walked you up the stairs, and let you hug someone. You start to shift your focus from threat to safety. So as we wrap things up here, you can start to see how all these different tools for your mind, your body, and your heart, they don't just exist on their own. They all come together to create a complete circle of healing. Every single tool has a special job. You can think of CBT as the squeegee that clears away those foggy, distorted thoughts. Mindfulness is your anchor, holding you steady in the present. ACT is your compass, always pointing you towards a life that matters to you. Self-compassion is like a warm blanket when you're feeling scared and alone. And gratitude? That's what slowly but surely rebuilds the trust you have in your own body. So please, remember this. Illness anxiety isn't a flaw. It's not a character weakness. It's your body asking for reassurance and care. And by meeting each wave of fear with awareness, with kindness, and with courage, you slowly teach your nervous system a whole new language, the language of safety. May every single breath remind you, you are alive, you are learning, and you are safe. Enough right here, right now. Thank you so much for joining me.